live, on your side. Channel 2 News at 6 starts now.
Okay, we checked this out. For the first time in over 30 years, the Buffalo Bills starting a season winning 8 of their first 10 games. Good evening, I'm Ron Plants. The Bills, of course, went to Indianapolis and beat the Colts out there by a score of 30-20. And that's where we find Channel 2's Jonathan Acosta and our Lindsay Moppert with a breakdown of today's win.
Jonathan Acosta, Lindsay Moppert here inside Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, where the Bills just beat the Colts 30-20 and now improve to 8-2 on the season. Jonathan, this game pretty much was dominated by big play after big play from the defense. How much of an impact do you feel like this group had on this game tonight?
Well, you say dominate. Not only did they do that, but they also set the tone. The very first defensive play for the Bills, Taron Johnson picks off Joe Flacco, takes it to the house for a pick six. You can't start the game better defensively than that. They end the day with 4 turnovers, 4 sacks, just making life miserable for Joe Flacco in this one. The home crowd even booing him throughout the game, partially because of the way Flacco was playing, but also because of how dominant this Bills defense was. And the team needed it because the offense didn't necessarily have its fastball in this one, but the defense more than stepped up to the plate.
And as you mentioned, the offense, it wasn't all pretty. Josh Allen coming into this game today with 2 interceptions. He's leaving with 2 additional interceptions. How much of this game offensively do you feel like was kind of due to some self-inflicted wounds?
I think definitely not Josh Allen's greatest game of the season. You have to take into consideration, though, the fact that they were down Keon Coleman, down Amari Cooper. They lost Dalton Kincaid during the game. So he's without some weapons, but again, not Josh Allen's cleanest game. If you do want a positive, though, they had a huge drive late in the fourth quarter that took up a good chunk of time, went down the field, ended with the James Cook rushing touchdown that really put this game out of reach. They had a 3-score lead. So it's an offense that had to fight through things a little bit, but at the end of the day, they were able to get that big drive in the fourth to, again, put the game away.
The Bills, again, 8-2 on the season. We'll have plenty more coming up tonight at 11.
All right, thank you, Jonathan and Lindsay. We now want to turn to the latest in the Sumitomo plant closure in Tonawanda. On Thursday, we learned, just as the workers did, that the 100-year-old plant would be closing, and that put 1,500 people out of a job there. Tonight, we're learning those workers are planning to take action. Channel 2's Andy Payton joining us now with more on what we can expect with that. Andy?
Ron, that's right. A call has been put out to the entire workforce and politicians on both sides to gather tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Aqua Lake boat launch to support these workers. And you mentioned how we found out at the same time as these workers did. That's something that's been hitting them the hardest these past few days. Workers have told us that whenever there was an issue in the past, there was a very clear line of communication between Sumitomo and the union, and they always tried to find a solution together. But when it came to closing this plant, they were essentially left in the dark. Take a listen to this.
That's the real hard part, is that there was no ask. You know, we could have went in and discussed things, and we could have found money through the state or the federal government to help, but there was no ask, and then that leaves us kind of helpless.
Now, Sumitomo's supposed reasoning for closing the facility came down to finances, but as my colleague Nate Benson has learned tonight, a month before closing the facility on October 10th, management sent this email to the motorcycle division praising it for its record production. That message of praise, as we've now learned, also taking place just one day after management had seemingly already decided to close the plant, buying a domain name that would be used to announce the closure. Now, we're also told there are plans to return to the bargaining table this week. The union, of course, trying to find a way to keep this plant open. Sumitomo's eyes right now more set on trying to put together a severance package. We'll have more on this tonight at 11, but for now, on your side here in the studio, Andy Payton, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Andy. All right, time to get a check of that Sunday evening weather. And we have Storm Team 2's James Gregorio over there tracking the forecast. Yeah, it was kind of dreary, the cloudiness, the rain.
Yep, all the above, right? But we need the rain, Ron. Been dry around here, so happy to get the rain. And there it is. That rain continues to move away, moving south of town now, in through the south towns and the southern tier, and continuing to slide off towards the capital region and the capital district and over the I-81 corridor as we speak. Excuse me, a little bit of rain left over here, moving over portions of Lake Erie, moving down towards Gowanda and Ellicottville. a little more, consistent as you head to the south as well with that batch of rain. And eventually it'll zip on over towards 81 as well. So much needed rain here as we move in towards tomorrow. 4 o'clock here on Future Look. An isolated scattered shower still possible here. Winds are going to be pretty robust throughout the day tomorrow. So that'll help kind of foster this environment of sort of instability. And, a couple of those instability light little showers are possible, but those wind gusts will be pretty robust. And at times we'll be talking about winds gusting 35 to maybe even near 40 miles an hour. By 5:30 here, a couple isolated showers left over. Winds still pretty vigorous. I think the shower threat is more pronounced over Lake Ontario as you head up towards Rochester, as you head up towards Batavia and Lockport. You probably have a little higher risk along the 90, that section of the 90, for a couple of those showers to linger in towards tomorrow night. Look at that, a couple of snowflakes trying to pop up well east of us. All right, let's check out the rain today. Boy, we need it. Fredonia picking up a little, about 1/3 of an inch. Hamburg, about 1/3 of an inch. Batavia, a little less at 0.27. Here at Buffalo International, 0.2 of an inch. And Niagara Falls, just shy of that at 0.19. All right, talking about the winds here, and about 12 miles an hour now. Warsaw at 11, Olean at 9, 11 miles an hour in Wellsville. But future winds, here's what we can expect tomorrow. Future wind gust, 32 miles an hour in Buffalo at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and then Batavia at about 29 miles an hour, Albion at about 33, and then they pick up those winds and wind gusts by noontime, close to 40 miles an hour. Temperatures for the most part still very mild. Angola at 55, Franklinville at 39. That's not mild, but Medina at about 52. Lockport, you're in the 50s as well. So your forecast for tonight shaping up like this, about 50. Stray isolated shower possible, otherwise mainly cloudy. As we move in towards tomorrow, Veterans Day. Thank you, vets, for your service. 57, breezy, cloudy. A leftover shower chance is here. And a look at that 7-day forecast. Shaping up like this. Perhaps a spotty spritz here in Erie, Niagara County on Tuesday. Wednesday's the best day, no doubt. About 50 degrees, absolutely gorgeous. And then we move in towards Thursday and Friday. Decent amount of cloudiness, but high temperatures look like they remain at right around 50 degrees or so. So a return to seasonable numbers, Ron.
All right, thank you, James. And you just referred to it. Monday, indeed, is a special day of honor and tribute, and that's because it is Veterans Day. This weekend, Western New Yorkers across the region honoring the men and women who serve our country. However, Forest Lawn Cemetery and the Western New York American Legion decided to also honor Canadian and British soldiers and airmen that are buried here in Buffalo. The grave of each of these 14 veterans now decorated with their nation's flag.
We may never know all of their stories, but the reality is in Buffalo, we live in a border community, and they may have come over for work or for cross-border sweethearts. It doesn't really matter. Our motivation was just to honor them in the way that is fitting.
Members of several Canadian Legion branches helped with that ceremony today. The U.S. Navy commissioning the USS John Basilone, the new Navy destroyer, into service this weekend. Bears the name of a Buffalo native and Marine who served during World War II. John Basilone won the Medal of Honor for heroism during the Battle of Henderson Field at Guadalcanal, fending off incoming Japanese forces with a machine gun. And when his ammunition ran out shortly before dawn, he used a pistol and a machete. Basilone posthumously awarded the Navy Cross after being killed at Iwo Jima. We're getting closer to the season of giving. That means it's almost time for our Food to Families drive. And starting today, you can buy that little brown bag of hope at Tops Friendly Markets all across Western New York. They're available with a $5, $10, or $20 donation at the cash register. Each bag benefiting Feed More Western New York and contains nutritious and non-perishable food items most needed during this time of the year. This year is also a new bonus if you buy a bag, thanks to the Buffalo Sabres.
So Tops has a new partnership with the Buffalo Sabres this year, and so what we're doing is for every brown bag you buy, whether it's a 5, 10, or a 20, you will get the commensurate amount in entry blanks for a great prize package that the Sabres have provided. It's 4 tickets, it's Zamboni rides, it's autographed jerseys, go to meet the Buffalo Sabres, some autographed hats. So it's a really great program, and it's a great way to help get some more bags for Feed More Western New York.
And a reminder, you can join Two on Your Side on December 6th for our Food to Families drive. Well, the Hamburg Fairgrounds getting in the holiday spirit this weekend, wrapping up the 40th annual Christmas in the Country Holiday Artisan Market there. The market had jewelry, home decorations, toys, artwork, and many other festive gifts. Vendors even say, though it's still early in November here, it's never too early to get the holidays started.
So Christmas is a season, the holiday is a season, Thanksgiving's just a day. So it's okay to start getting everything together. Also, the more you buy presents now, you don't have to worry about buying the presents later. So it's kind of like you're saving money.
And the market benefits several local nonprofit organizations, including the Punt Foundation, Hamburg Eden Animal Rescue Team, and the Variety Children's Charity of Buffalo. That's going to wrap things up for us with this special online streaming edition of Channel 2 News at 6. Of course, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship wrapping up on Channel 2 and NBC. Football night in America actually starts at 7 on the network, and we hope you'll join us after the game, as we always say, Sunday Night Football for Channel 2 News tonight. Have a good night.